Can't tell you how big a win this was for Kansas City. They are now this close to the #1 seed and the only bye in the AFC. If they win one of their final 2 games, both on the road, Steelers, Broncos, or if the Bills lose any of their final 3 games, the Chiefs clinch the #1 seed. Our analytics say they have a 91% chance of making the road come through Arrowhead.
Real quick on what you just said.
Yeah.
That's your quarterback right there, okay?
Yep.
In terms of everyone, you better get yourselves ready to play. If your quarterback is saying that and putting everything on the line, that fires me up by Mahomes
no
right
doubt.
there, Alex. Man.
No doubt.
And our quarterback has been watching this team play. We've talked so much this year about Kansas City's offensive struggles. Are they putting it together at exactly the right time?
I think so. This is the best offensive performance I've seen from them in several weeks. Listen, they're shuffling guys around on the offensive line. I mean, their leading rusher was on the couch earlier this year. They have so many contributors, and all they seem to do, they convert over 50% of their third downs. They're good in the red zone. Again, they seal the game away on 4 minute. They don't turn the ball over. Like, just every week, they do the little things to win football games. And this is a good Texans defense. I mean, they got 2 elite pass rushers. They just shut down the Miami Dolphins a week ago. Like, the Chiefs are peaking at the right time, I think.
Every week they're just solving problems. And the biggest problem was solved by the coaching staff to move Joe Thuney from his guard spot all the way till his tackle spot. In the last 2 games, fellas, 47 pass block plays, 41 pass block wins, 0 sacks allowed. And that's just not the performance on the field of it. Didn't we see Mahomes a few weeks ago just taking off from the pocket because he knew he had no confidence? He didn't have any confidence. But you see Thuney right here over and over again. Patrick said it himself. He could play all along that offensive line. He knows Thuney has that left tackle position anchored down now, and now he's willing to stay there longer because of the confidence.
Yeah.
What Joe Thuney, that's a season-saving move right there. That move right there, what Joe Thuney's doing.
And as much as they've struggled and as much as they've been on the ropes, they're basically this close to clinching home field advantage. So you're going to have to go beat Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in Kansas City in the postseason, which can be done, but it's not going to be easy.
It can't be done easily. If they lose in regulation in the AFC Championship game, it'll be the earliest exit that Patrick Mahomes has ever had. So that's their side of it. How about the Houston side of it, Rex? The Texans struggling again as they seem to against the top competition.
They really do, Granny, and it starts with protection. And this kid, I mean, he looks like a different quarterback completely. Why? He's not getting protected. He's not confident in the pocket, and I think that's the biggest difference this year. Quite honestly, they look like the worst division champion in this league. They're fortunate to play in the division they do, but they look like one and done. If you can't protect the quarterback better than this, now all of a sudden by the way, a ton of penalties, all that type of stuff. And now you're going to lose Dell, unfortunately, for the season. It's a bad look.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes a little bit on Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator, because the delay of games, the use of timeout, just like that's not performance. That's like structure, all right? That's organization. That's coaching right there. Why do we have multiple delay of game penalties and your quarterback just likes he isn't confident right now, so coaching's got to step up.
And you're right, Brew, because where's the adjustments? I keep waiting for some kind of adjustments. Heavy to protection. You know when a quarterback's struggling, the running game and heavying up the protection is usually your friend, right, Alex? Or
no doubt. And I think, obviously, with the loss of Tank Dell, I think you're going to have to feature Joe Mixon, right? You really lost now, obviously, with Diggs out, some weapons on the outside. But real quick, to go back to Thuney and, how rare this is. Like, you mentioned those stats. He also was going against Myles Garrett and Danielle Hunter.
Yep.
Right? Like 2 elite pass rushers. There aren't many guards that can you throw out there at left tackle and can play like that.
Can I say the other thing that I thought needed to happen for this Chiefs team to end up being what they're doing right now? And you see what's happening here, right? You see the sort of slow surge that the Chiefs are building to here to getting the bye. Xavier Worthy. All right, a season-high 11 targets. I think Hollywood Brown coming back, easing his role up a little bit for him. I've been on Worthy this year. I mean, I've been wanting to see so much from him, and now he's starting to play well. The Chiefs are doing what the Chiefs do at this time of year.
The Chiefs lost on Christmas Day a year ago. Since that time, they are 20-1, including the Super Bowl win last year, and their next game will be Christmas coming up. Meanwhile, circling it all the way back, the Tank Dell injury, it looked just awful.
Well, he was taken to a local hospital. He spent overnight in a local Kansas City hospital, and obviously he has a dislocated kneecap. He won't play again this season. They're without Tank Dell. They're without Stephon Diggs. You hope that Tank Dell can get better from an injury like this. It's the second straight year that his year has ended due to an injury. Last year, he broke his ankle. This year, he has the knee injury. You hope it's just the dislocated kneecap. We're waiting to see more, but the Texans will update that later today. Either way, you hope that he's okay, and best wishes to him.
And all those teams turn around and play again on Christmas. The 4 teams that we saw yesterday we'll see again coming up on Wednesday. Penix was at Costco when he got the call. He was the 8th overall pick in the draft, played 6 years of college at Indiana and Washington. In his 2 years at Washington, he became the first FBS quarterback to throw for 4,500 yards in consecutive seasons since Patrick Mahomes did it once upon a time at Texas Tech. So let's start with Jeff Darlington, who's live for us in Atlanta this morning. Jeff, what has been the team's reaction to the benching of Kirk Cousins?
Well, I can tell you, Greeny, that, for instance, tight end Kyle Pitts said that he was scrolling social media when he found out the news, much like the rest of us did, about ultimately this benching taking place. Now, there is some objectivity involved in this, and that's why I would say that this has not been very divisive in the locker room. To Pitts' point, yes, it is bittersweet in the sense that you're seeing a guy that everybody loves in Kirk Cousins going to the bench, but there is a sort of reset, a sort of fresh vibe with Michael Penix coming in. Raheem Morris talked about the reason being turnovers, something that Kirk Cousins also understands. This is a quarterback who is leading the league in fumbles, in addition to the interceptions that he had. 9 interceptions in the last 5 games with 1 touchdown pass. So a lot of the players that I spoke to were not necessarily feeling, they don't love the idea of Kirk Cousins going to the bench, but they also can understand it based on the numbers and based on the fact that this is still a team in the playoff hunt. And I can tell you, Kirk Cousins called Penix and said, I will be here for you. If you need me, I am here to help. Greeny.
He's a class act, and he always has been. Now, you mentioned the playoff hunt. Let's show you exactly where the Falcons are. They trail the Buccaneers by 1 game in the division. Their simplest path to a division title is to win their last 3 games. They play the Giants, Commanders, and Panthers. Then they just need Tampa to lose 1. The Falcons also have a path to get in as a wild card, but that's a very complicated scenario. We won't get into all of that. But suffice it to say, they need to win out one way or another. And so, Chef, you talk to us. What went into this decision? Why did this happen when it happened?
Well, Jeff touched on the turnovers. And I think not only did they have the turnovers, but I think the players at practice saw the type of quarterback that Michael Penix Jr. was. And everybody could see the talent there. It was undeniable. And I think that they felt like this would help upgrade the offense moving forward. This would change the passing attack. This would open up more long passes, which had gone away. Maybe it would make Michael Penix a little bit more elusive in the pocket than Kirk Cousins is. Penix Jr. isn't a running quarterback, but Kirk Cousins looked a little immobile back there with the Achilles injury that he suffered last year. And so the Falcons, after resisting all discussion of this, of never wavering, of saying that Kirk Cousins is our guy, all of a sudden they get back after that win on Monday night. And as soon as Raheem Morris said, well, we haven't made a decision on the quarterback, you knew it was over. You knew it was over because that was the first time that he showed any sign that he was thinking of making the change. They go and make the change, and obviously that sets into motion a whole slew of events, starting with Penix Jr. starting today, and their playoff hopes riding on the 8th overall pick.
Which is, this just seems so premeditated to me, right? Like Kirk Cousins, listen, I know he was struggling. He still was 7th in the NFL in passing, like even with the struggles that was going on. And again, offensively, he wasn't the only problem. This offensive line has played bad. They have a first-time coordinator in Zach Robinson that's still figuring it out. Their defense is bottom half in every single category. And it just seems like a little bit, we're driving the bus over Kirk here. And again, insane that, like, they're only a game back. And you're not going to let this guy play his way out of it? He just went through 3 of the best defenses in the NFL. He played against the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Vikings. And here you come into a window where you get to play the Raiders and you get to play the Giants and the Panthers coming up, and you don't let him do it? I don't love this. You even heard Darlington reference that the other players, there was kind of a relief, right? Oh, like it wasn't our fault we were playing bad. It was all Kirk, obviously. Like they made the change. Like I don't love this at all. I think Kirk, the contract you gave him, what he's done over his career was deserving of trying to play his way out of this. And this is a contractual mess.
They said this is a plan. They said they had a whole plan the whole time. I can't imagine the plan was to start Michael Penix Jr. in the 16th week of the season against the New York Giants with the Falcons having to win all 3 playoff games.
And is the plan to compete for a playoff spot? Is the plan to win the division? Because I'm looking at as a defensive player in the locker room who sees a division championship possible if we get hot or if Kirk turns it around. And we're about to, I mean, can we make noise in the play? This is you are close to the end here, okay? And you are still in the playoff hunt, in the divisional championship hunt, and you're bringing in a rookie where there is definitely going to be growing pains, right? There's going to be, you have to get used to this guy, that you don't know what he has. I mean, has he been getting first-team reps in practice? I mean, this is different than a Drake May situation who he was getting 30% of the reps for first-team practice. It's possible this guy's just been doing scout team for you. And so defensively, if I'm a player, it's like, I want to win. I want a chance to win. I've seen Kirk struggle, and has Kirk looked broken at times? Absolutely. But to your point, has he looked good this year at times?
Two-time player of the week in the NFC earlier this year.
You're about to play the Giants. Where could that have been used by Kirk Cousins to get some momentum against a team that...
Get in here, Rex.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I've questioned the plan, I mean, from jump. When they made Penix the 8th overall pick after spending $1 billion, you know, for Kirk Cousins, and then you mentioned the Zach Robinson. Can we finally say that's watered down enough, that Sean McVay tree? Like, are you kidding me? I get it. You had coffee with him, head coach. All right. But this is like, you got the best thing Kirk Cousins does. Is play action pass. Then why the hell don't you run play action pass? Like, I think it's been set up for failure, man. Like, I don't know what they were expecting. This is not the drop back guy. Now, this Penix guy I mean, he fits that MO better, I think. And so I'm a little excited about Penix. Look, the thing I know about Penix in college, and guys, played 6 years. All right. So 6 years, he had a lot of snaps. Really big arm, can throw the ball outside the numbers. The other thing that he can do, he gets the ball out of his hands quicker. And I think that's a good thing. When I saw Kirk Cousins, you mentioned that he was broken at times, it looked like. I've never seen Kirk Cousins double clutch more in my life. And so to me, I'm like, the heck with it. At least now, let's put the other kid in and let's see it.